Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. I'm Yomesh Gupta. In this video, we are going to talk about web performance. We are not just going to take a high level look on the overall web performance, but rather we'll focus on a specific topic called rendering technologies. It's a very common concept and talking point in front-end system design interviews. Plus, if you build a front-end web app, then you have to make a choice that which type of rendering technology are you going with or rendering technique. Basically, it could be CSR, SSR, hydration, and streaming and whatnot. In this video, we are going to take live examples. We'll see one-on-one mapping like CSR, how it's rendered, SSR, how it's done and all. Plus, we'll see how to optimize it. We'll go one step further and see what are the latest offerings from latest versions of React and how we can optimize this. So if you're preparing for front-end interviews or if want to understand how these rendering technologies work, then this is the video for you. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So first type of rendering technique that we are going to talk about is CSR, which is basically client-side rendering. In this, first we download the JS, download the assets, then the browser parse, then and execute the JavaScript. Then React takes over and we render the React tree and everything. After rendering, we do some sort of we can fetch data. I mean, this can be interchangeable. We can first fetch data, then render, or first render and then fetch data, and eventually it becomes all everything becomes interactive. This is the most common type of rendering technique. Since we started using React or the introduction of SPAs, client side rendering is the default mode. Now let's take a look at the live example of a CSR app. Basically, in this video, we'll pick one sample web app and we'll try to see it in different modes from different rendering techniques, how the user experience and the performance improved by addition of different rendering techniques. To keep things consistent, we'll run it on slow 4G. If you can see on the top right, we are running it on slow 4G. So I'll go to the first link. I'll try to download this. I'll try to run this. So you'll see an empty screen because in CSR we download the entire JS bundle first, like I mentioned, and then browser parses it, and then we render it, and then we fetch the data, and eventually it becomes interactive. So it is, uh, good for if you don't need SEO, if you have a simple web app. For large apps also it works, but the web vitals are not that great for CSR because we are downloading the JS bundle, the entire JS bundle first. You can improve upon it through chunking, through route-based splitting, but eventually if you have an entry level bundle that is too big, then it will take time to load and your metrics like FCP or time to first byte, they will take some time. They will look bad because we are downloading the entire JS bundle. Now here it is completely downloaded and rendered, and we can see we have this side navigation, a sidebar, we have a top nav bar, we have some post, and at the bottom we have this analytics dashboard, which is pretty heavy and it is rendering some charts. This is all dummy data. It is all rendered and all, and we can interact with this. But as we saw earlier that it took some time to load. There was like initial loading phase completely where we saw a blank screen. If I'm a user, I'm staring at a blank screen for couple of seconds, 3-4 seconds, then that's not a great experience. And we can see here also, like if you see here, the index, we have just single bundle and it is taking 19 seconds to load, and that is not great. So let's see how we can improve upon it using SSR and what benefits will it provide us. Before we move on to the next part of the video, I would like to take some time and quickly talk about devtools.tech, the platform that powers this channel, and and the platform that I'm building for our front-end community. If you go and log in and subscribe, you will get access to 200 plus premium questions that are asked by top companies across the world. You get all the questions. You can filter out by companies, you can filter out by type, status, difficulty, and so on. There are a lot of questions like this is by Uber, this is by Adobe, and so whatnot. A lot of users, a lot candidates have used this platform, prepared for interviews, and grabbed offers from 50 LPA to 1 CR and even more. Also, like I mentioned, you can go to company tab and you can have questions from different companies. Like let's say you're preparing for Atlassian, you'll get all the questions asked by Atlassian. You can go for Uber, all the questions asked by Uber, and so on. And you will get the resume guide also. Like if you click here, all the top resume tips and tricks that I have learned over the years and I've spoken to people, you'll get that. Plus you will get system design guide and Google Calendar example. It's combined. It's like a 40-page guide that you'll get it. And I'm going to release WhatsApp UI section here that will talk about how to build WhatsApp UI from a front end perspective. We'll get access to collections, you'll get access to submissions by different users, answers provided by me, test cases, plus AI real-time feedback and AI assistant called Event Loop. You can talk to this agent, ask about interview process of different companies, questions asked by different companies and whatnot. So this is like the thing here is that if you go and subscribe to this platform, then it is a win-win situation for all. You'll get access to all the great things. You'll get access to lifetime updates, personalized support, questions, and everything. Plus, it will also support the channel. It will also support me to make more meaningful content and push content on a regular basis. So if you see any value, then please do go to the links mentioned on the screen or in the description and help out the channel. Thank you. Back to the video now. So the next technique we are going to talk about is SSR, which is server-side rendering. In this, the pipeline looks like that we first fetch the data. Let's say we make a DB call or some backend API, we fetch the data. Then we render on server using something like a render to string, or if we are using Next.js or some package, then they'll take care of that. And then we send everything to browser. We send HTML and browser loads the JS and it hydrates and makes it interactive. This is the high level view of how SSR works. Now let me give you a quick demo of it. So this was our CSR app. I'll open again a new tab. I'll make sure that it is again running on slow 4G. Let me just verify. Yeah, it is on slow 4G. I'll go to my SSR demo link. You will see that it is comparatively is loading faster, but if I try to interact something, nothing is happening. Like I can't click on the any button because the app is still loading. The heavy bundle of the JS for the analytics dashboard is still getting downloaded. So in SSR, we get the force content really fast, but it's not interactive. And it is not interactive because the click handlers and everything, they are not attached, and they are attached using a process called hydration. Now on a very high level view, hydration is basically that once the page is completely rendered and the HTML we have and the tree is completely rendered, then React hydrates the tree. Basically it attaches the JS handlers and the interactivity to the page. Now, if I click on any CTA here, then we can see that we have the interactivity. We can take some actions. So this is the con of SSR, that you get to see the content first. Let's say it's a reading blog or something, you can read. But let's say if it's like a e-commerce website, you render the cards, but you can't interact. You can't do add to cart or anything because the button is not working. It is not hydrated. The React tree is not hydrated yet. But there are benefits for SSR. Let's say any web app that needs SEO, that needs uh, since we are sending the direct HTML to client, then it is much faster. It is comparatively much faster because we are not loading the entire JS at first. We are just rendering the entire tree on server and then we are sending it to the client. So it's comparatively much faster to load, and it has a better performance. SEO is better, and web vitals are comparatively much better than a CSR app. Now in the next step, let me show you the code also for this, how we are doing this. So this is my SSR. It's basically my CSR was just a white app, basically SPA. For SSR, what I'm doing is I have just migrated the entire same app to a Next.js app, where we have this a nav bar like we saw. Then we had a sidebar, we have the post list, and we have the data visualization. This is rendering the charts, and post is basically the post list. Now in the next section, we are going to talk about how we can improve this SSR. How can we make it better? So like I showed you that in SSR, we were getting the content faster, but it was not interactive. We were not able to click any buttons. They looked like that they are, clickable, but nothing was happening because SSR works on the principle hydrate everything before anything works. That first the entire page needs to be downloaded, and we need to have entire JS, and every element of the JS should be hydrated. Then only you can do anything, or any element on the page is interactive. So how to overcome this, that we want to have interactivity as soon as we get the elements on the page? To do this, we will use a technique called selective hydration. It's a technique which is part of React 18, and first I'll show a demo and then I'll show you how I implemented it. So I'll again open this new tab. I'll go to my inspect with, and I'll make sure that it is again on slow 4G. I'll go to the demo link. I'll open this, and as it is still loading, but I can interact on the page. You will see that, all the items are interactive, but the heavy JS bundle is still getting loaded. We can still see the, chart is getting loaded, but we can interact with the page. So this is a much better experience that, the page is downloaded, and the elements which are present on the page are interactive now. We don't have to wait that entire JS is downloaded, then the entire hydration process happens, and then we, reach the stage where we can interact with something. This is more often around the principle load everything but hydrate anything. So we are telling React that in our, like, we can tell React after React 18 that, if this is a heavy bundle, or let's say any element or any segment of our app we want to hydrate later, we can tell that, when this is ready, show it and hydrate it. Till then, if anything else is present on the page, don't wait for the heavy thing, hydrate that, make it interactive. That's the principle here, and it's a much better experience. So let me show you the code and how it is implemented. Let me show you a side-by-side comparison. So on the right, we have our traditional SSR where we were rendering navbar, sidebar, post list, and data visualization. The entire thing is first rendered on the server and then sent to the client and then hydrated. And like I mentioned before, the logic here is hydrate everything before anything works. So it will wait for the entire DOM tree to be interactive, hydrated, then only we can interact with something. On the left hand side, which is SSR with selective hydration, like this is part of React 18. What we are doing here is that we are again rendering the navbar, the sidebar, the post list, but the data visualization, the component which was contributing most to the delay because it was very heavy, we are lazy loading it. We are, deferring it out of the picture for now. Let's see how we are doing it. So if I go inside this component, we are using suspense here. So this is suspense from React. It has been around forever as far as I can remember. It's been there for a long time. But now with React 18, what we are doing is that if we suspend a component, then the hydration and everything for it is paused, and the parent becomes hydrated and interactive. The React will not wait for this component. This component will be rendered and hydrated if and when it is ready, when we have the entire data in JS for it. Now this suspense is basically from React. We are also using lazy here. So we are importing the actual component in a lazy manner. And here we are just passing it. We have an error boundary, and we are, passing a fallback. Like we will show some loader screen, and that loader screen will be SSR'd. But when this component is ready, then it will be shown on the screen and it will be hydrated, and it's a much better experience. You don't have to wait for everything to rendered and entire JS to be there, then only you can hydrate. It's a much better experience. And the logic here is load everything and hydrate anything. So whatever you have on the screen, if it's available, then you hydrate it. Now you can take it to step further. You can maybe suspend the sidebar, or maybe you can suspend multiple things. But let's say if you have multiple suspended components on the screen, then they will be rendered and hydrated in the order of suspension. But if a user, let's say we have the data for 4 components and they are going to be rendered in the order of suspension, if a user tries to interact with any component that is supposed to be rendered later or hydrated later, it will take precedence, because React will see it as a high intent action. That user is trying to interact with sidebar, but it is suspended for now, but I have the data for it, I have the JS for it, so I will hydrate it first. I'll make sure that this is done and ready for the user, so it feels snappy and interactive fast. So this is a good experience, and much better than the traditional CSR and traditional SSR. In the next step, we'll see how we can even take it a step further and improve upon it. So we saw SSR with selective hydration using React 18, where we were, rendering the entire page, SSR doing a server-side rendering, but we were suspending the analytics dashboard because it was pretty heavy and it was blocking the hydration of the entire page. And it's much better than the traditional CSR and SSR. Now, let's say there is a scenario where these posts are too many to render. We can do pagination or something, but still, let's say we are too many, or maybe we are rendering individual posts, like we just have post IDs and each post will fetch its own data. And it could be a bottleneck to our SSR pipeline because it will, on SSR also we need to render the entire tree on server, and if the rendering the entire tree on the server takes time, then it's a blocker for SSR pipeline. So how can we improve upon it? Here comes the part where we can use streaming. With React 18, streaming with selective hydration and SSR is a very powerful combo, and we can use it to make our app more interactive and much more performant, much more in a very faster way. So let me show you a demo. So I'll open a new tab again, and we'll make sure that it is on slow 4G. I just open and we'll see that we get the it is SSR'd and we get the data right away, and all our posts are getting rendered one by one. Rest of the posts are loading, and our heavy JS component is also loading, and our page is interactive, fully interactive. Here these are also interactive and everything, and our posts are loading here one by one because we are now streaming individual posts. Like if I show you the doc, we'll see that this content is still getting downloaded. We are streaming the HTML as and when the posts are ready, we are sending it to the client and they are getting rendered, and that's why you see that this time is increasing. And our heavy JS bundle, that is also downloaded and the chart is also rendered and our posts are coming in. You can combine this. Let's say you can on granular level you can stream something. Maybe certain part of your web page is getting streamed and coming in as and when it is ready, and certain parts you are suspending for a longer time or whatnot. But with selective hydration, with streaming, with React 18, it's a much powerful combo to make the page much more faster. And it's very simple. These changes are not that big to or not that complex to make. Like if we go to the code for selective hydration, we were using the page router. Basically we had the same, like we were lazy loading the data visualization. For selective hydration, we are, for this to better work, we are using the app router. We can do with page router also, but with app router it's much more supported. And these libraries or frameworks like Gatsby, Next.js, they provide streaming with selective hydration out of the box. You don't have to do something unique or something complex for it. They use the native APIs like render to pipeable stream or node to pipeable stream. I don't remember the name exactly internally. So you get all the benefits of SSR and selective hydration in React 18 and Next.js. So let's say in the page component, earlier we were suspending the data visualization. We are still doing it, but now rather than rendering the entire page list, what we are doing is we are suspending individual page post component, and we are passing an ID. So this is basically simple component that is rendering the post component. We are just simulating some delay here, and then we are generating the post. Basically the analogy here is that when this is getting rendered, this is making its own API call to get the data from the server, and then it's rendering it. Now the benefit of suspending it, the same suspending it is that when it is ready, it is flushed to the browser right away. So individual post components, if and when they are ready, they are flushed to the browser and they are interactive. And because it's available, React renders it and it becomes interactive right away. Like the first post will not wait that till all the posts are ready or downloaded, then only I will become interactive. It will become interactive right away. But the idea here is that we saw that this was a simple CSR app which took a lot of time to load. When initially we saw this blank screen for a few seconds, maybe this Index.js taking a lot of time, like 19 seconds initially it was taking. and it's still loading. And if I go to my SSR example, we get the content comparatively much faster than CSR, but it is not interactive. We can see if we click on the button, then nothing is happening. And because our heavy bundles are getting downloaded, this is traditional SSR. Our CSR app is done, we can interact with it, but our SSR app is still loading because this bundle, and as soon as we have the bundle, we can interact with the components because hydration is happening. And the logic here is hydrate everything before anything works. Now we go to selective hydration, that if I reload this, I show you a demo, we again get the SSR content comparatively faster, but we get the interactivity too. As soon as SSR content is available, we are not waiting for the heavy components, we are suspending them, and since they are suspended, when they are available, they'll be rendered. We get the skeleton, and skeleton is SSR, and if it's available, it is the child component is rendered and hydrated separately. Now at the last, we see a demo where not only we do selective hydration, but we also do streaming here. So if I see, individual component posts are getting loaded, our suspended components, the heavy components, the JS for that is already is also loading, and the entire page is interactive also. So comparatively a much faster experience and much better experience for our end users. So this is the end of the video. I hope you were able to learn something new today. My aim and idea was to show you a life cycle of a web app from CSR to SSR with selective hydration and streaming, how it has evolved and how with each technique we are improving performance and web vitals. Also, the idea here is to keep it very simple, to not go into very deep complex code, because like I showed you, it is pretty straightforward to do these things as long as you're willing to deep dive and understand how things work. If you feel that I missed out on something and could have explained something better, then please do mention in the comments. I'll take that feedback and improve next time. Also, if you want to support this channel, if you want to support the platform devtools.tech, then please go like this video, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the platform. There are links on the screen, devtools.tech/pricing. If you get the subscription for DevTools, it is a win-win situation for us all. You will get more concrete videos, plus the platform contains 200 plus top premium questions that are asked by top companies. Also, you'll get the front end system design guide for free if you get the lifetime subscription, and you'll get lifetime updates from me and personalized support. So till next time, see you, take care, bye bye.